What's going on, guys? So I got a little bit of bad news about the hatch. I really don't know what's going on with it. I've only probably driven it a couple times since we fixed it last, and I haven't really beat on it or anything. But I went to start it up the other day, and it sounds just like it did when I broke the retainer. So I'm gonna go out there today and start pulling the engine apart, see if I can figure out what's going on with that. It's definitely a valve issue, and it sounds like it's the same one. So maybe that valve wasn't as healthy as we thought it may have been. So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna go out there, pull it apart, see if I can see any obvious signs of anything that's going wrong. I got a feeling it should be pretty obvious. I also sold the SI. I got a new daily. We can go through that a little bit later as well. And before we get too deep into this video, I want to give Christian Perez over at Honda Vlogs a huge shout out. They included this in the video recap last week. It was pretty cool. So I'm very thankful for that, as well as Dylan White, because he's the one that kind of put our names out there for him. So that's really cool of you, Dylan. Thank you so much. And then a guy I met last weekend at Cars and Coffee, his name was Tim. He's got a pretty rowdy turbo Fox body Mustang. He's a super cool guy. So anyways, Tim, it was great meeting you. But as of now, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get on out there. Alright guys, well, I got the front valve cover off, and I can already see the issue here on this cylinder, or this valve here. I don't know how well you can see it, but that retainer has cracked now as well. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and fix that. Hopefully I can find the keepers. But yeah, that's definitely our issue here. I'm gonna pull the other side off too, just to make sure, but as of now, that's the only one on the front head that I've seen. But yeah, that's definitely our issue. There's a cracked all the way in half, just like the other one did, which is weird considering I've barely driven this thing and I haven't really beat on it or anything. So I guess it's time to upgrade to some titanium valve springs and retainers. Alright guys, well, as you just saw, somehow I managed to break another retainer. I'm not really sure how, because I haven't really driven it, haven't beat on it really. But anyways, I'll probably dig into that a little bit more tomorrow, see if I can find the keepers and stuff down in there. Hopefully I get lucky again like last time and not have to pull the oil pan, but who knows. But yeah, other than that, I'll go outside and walk you guys around my new daily. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You can probably tell what it is just by looking at the inside of it. It's a Honda Element 2004. It's way more practical for me as a daily driver. It's got obviously a lot more room. The floors being rubberish, plasticish stuff, my snowboards and all that stuff aren't going to hurt it. For those that don't know, I'm a professional snowboarder, so I'm always hauling around a lot of snowboarding stuff and snowboards and getting my cars all dirty, and the SI just didn't have the room. This is a real-time all-wheel drive, I think they call it, and it's also a 5-speed manual, which is really cool. It does have quite a bit of miles on it. It has like roughly 260,000 miles on it, but mechanically it sounds great. It sounds like, I mean, it doesn't sound like I'm gonna have any problems anytime soon, and even if I did, my car payments are way lower than my SI was. So I'm not too worried about all that. For the most part, all the issues I found so far have been cosmetic. The body itself is really clean. It looks basically like a brand new car. when I first got it. There's a lot of plastic in the back around the back door that was all kind of like hanging down, like somebody pulled it out because they added trailer lights or a trailer light harness. So I went ahead and put all that back up. I didn't make a video, I probably should have, but also none of the dash lights worked. I didn't know that until I went to work the night I bought it, and none of the lights came on, so I couldn't really see how fast I was going or anything. All the needles on the gauge cluster lit up, but nothing else came on. None of the gauges, the lights worked. None of my climate control lights worked. The radio was like super dim. I could barely see it. So I already went ahead and fixed that. I'll show you guys how I did that. I probably should have made a video of when I fixed it, of how to do it. But anyways, I got all the lights working, and now the engine temp, the water temp gauge light doesn't work. So all the other ones work and that one doesn't, so I'm assuming the bulbs burn out. So I went over to Honda today, I got a new bulb for it. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that in, and I'll show you guys how to do it. It's really easy. Shouldn't take more than 10-15 minutes at most. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do, you're going to want to open your door, and there should be a little screw, or there's not a screw, you got to pop this side piece here off, and then underneath that there's going to be a screw you take out to pull out this kind of bezel around the gauge cluster. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that side piece right here off, and then I'll show you guys the screw underneath that when I get to it. Alright, got the side piece off, so now it's going to be this screw here you're going to have to pull out, and then we can go ahead and pop this whole piece off. Alright, so I got the bezel off, and now you can see the gauges are fairly dirty, so I'll probably take them inside and clean them up a little bit. But to get them out, you're going to have to take out 4 screws. One here, there's one down here, and there's one over here. So I'm going to go ahead and take those out, take it inside and clean it up, and then we'll resume after that. Alright, so I got them out, and I just wanted to show you guys real quick the issue with all the dash lights. I just kind of wiggled this connector around for the harness, and as I was wiggling it, I would turn the lights on and off, and they actually all just started working just from doing that. So you probably can't see, but yeah, they all come on. Anyways, so if you know anybody or you have an element that's having this dash light issue, just kind of take this out and wiggle this around right here and make sure it's in there tight, and they should all come on. But that's how I fixed it. It worked for me, so hopefully if you guys know somebody in need, you can get theirs fixed as well. But I'm gonna go inside and clean this up real quick, and then I'll go ahead and throw the light bulb in there, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, got it all cleaned up. So this temperature gauge right here is the one that has the light that's not working, so that's the one we're going to go ahead and replace. So if we turn this over, it's going to be this bulb right here. So to get it out, all you got to do, probably have to get some needle nose pliers, but you just got to twist it, kind of unscrew it. I think it turns about half a turn or so, and then it'll just pull straight out, and then we'll throw the new bulb in there, and it should work just fine. So I'll go grab some needle nose pliers and get it out of there, and then we'll continue. Alright guys, I got it out of there. Turns out I don't have any needle nose pliers, so I just had to mess with it a little bit, but I got it out. That's actually the old one over here, so this is the new one. So as you can see, it's kind of cut out like almost like a bow tie looking thing. And I dropped the new one down here. But anyway, so if you look at the end of this, I don't know how well you can see that, but there's like these little prongs on either side, and those slide down through there, and then when you twist it, locks it in. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide that down in there. Just like that. And then now we gotta rotate it to get it to lock in, which I need both hands for. So I'll go ahead and stop the video. Alright, so I pushed it down there, twisted it up, so it's up just like the other ones. So now I'm going to go ahead and put everything back together and turn the lights on and make sure that light works. So yeah, just basically reverse the process. Obviously got to put those 4 screws back in, the tabs, pop the bezel back on, pop the side back on, all that stuff. So it's relatively simple and easy. So yeah, I'm going to get to it now. All right, got it all back together now, so we're gonna go ahead and test the lights and make sure that temperature gauge works. And it appears that it does. So yeah, it's that easy. I don't know how well you guys can actually see that, but it does work. So other than that, the only other dash light that I have that's burnt out is the one behind here on the temperature control. But I believe in order to get that out, I have to pop out this whole piece, and eventually I want to upgrade this to a double DIN touchscreen. So I'll probably just go ahead and wait for this until I do that, because I tend to have really bad luck with all the plastic clips. I like to break them. So if I could only have to do it once, I'm definitely only going to do it once. So other than that, the only other issues that I have found so far with this car is this seat's broken, so it kind of wobbles, so it makes it real goofy to drive. So I'll go probably to a junkyard or something and grab another seat for it. If I can find one. And then other than that, just the e-brake doesn't work, so I think the cables probably got rusty and snapped. I haven't really looked into that yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and fix those, and then that should do it for this car. Other than that, it's a pretty sound car. Maybe have a boost build coming with this thing eventually, but it won't probably be anytime soon, as long as I'm using it for a daily. But we'll see, who knows. Now the following day, I'm going to go back out there and see if I can find the keepers for the retainer. Hopefully I get lucky again and they're just in the head like they were last time, but who knows. I really don't want to have to pull the oil pan off, but if I do have to, it is what it is, I guess. I got to get them out of there. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to go out there now, and I'm going to probably pull the rocker arms out and see if I can find them in there, in the head anywhere. And then we'll go from there. Alright guys, well luckily the keepers are still on the valve in there. I don't know how well you can see that, but so yeah, they're not lost in the engine anywhere, they're not really in the head, they're just right there. So as long as I'm careful, I should be able to get them out fairly easily. Something else I forgot to mention in the last video that's kind of cool, these J-Series engines actually come stock with roller rockers. So I thought that was kind of cool. Anyways, I'm waiting on a buddy to come over now. I went over to my parents' house, picked up the air compressor so I can go ahead and pressurize the cylinder and slap a new retainer on there. So I'm waiting for a buddy to come over now so he can help me get those keepers on, because it definitely takes more than just two hands to do without the proper tools. So once he gets here, we'll continue this and hopefully have it running by later tonight, but we'll see what happens. Alright guys, well it's now the following day. I didn't do a whole lot of filming last night because it got dark. I was waiting for a buddy to come over, so I had an extra set of hands to get the keepers back in the retainer and on the valve. But it got pretty dark, so I didn't get to do a lot of filming. But anyways, I got some pretty bad news. So I went ahead and hooked the air up, and I had, you know, the cylinder, or the valve was pushed up, had the cylinder under compressed air, and it was leaking air out of the spark plug hole. And I was like, oh, it's not a big deal, whatever. And I just tapped the top of the valve and it dropped down into the cylinder. So I went today and I'm going to try something. I have very, very low hopes that it's going to work, but you never know. Either way, I was planning on pulling the heads off at some point in the spring to do the full titanium valve train. So it's not a huge deal. It is what it is, but I'll be leaving for tour probably in, I want to say, about 4 weeks or so from today. So if I don't have the hatch, it doesn't really matter anyways. It's pretty cold outside now, so it's not like I'll be doing a whole lot of racing or anything like that. But it's about time to park it anyways. But anyways, I'm going to try something. Like I said, I have pretty low expectations for it, but you never know. So what I did was I went over to my buddy's dad's shop here, and I borrowed his Borescope. So if I open this, got his Borescope here. I'm going to try to feed this into the spark plug hole, and I have another buddy, his name's Cody, shout out to you, Cody. He said he has a magnet that's really, really small. I might be able to fit it down through the valve guide, so I'm going to stick that in there so I can see what I'm doing, and I'm going to try to fish the valve back out through the valve guide, but like I said, I highly doubt it's going to work, but you never know. If it does, that'd be great. If it doesn't, I'm pulling the heads off anyways, so I'm just gonna, if it doesn't work, I'll probably take the car up this weekend at some point and just park it for the winter and put it in storage, you know, whatever, but, yeah, we'll go from there. I'll probably work on that a little bit tomorrow, so I'll do some more filming when I start on that. So, yeah, that's where we're at right now. So, bad news, guys, but it is what it is. It's the end of the season anyways, so I'm not too worried about it. I have been in contact with Brent Levistad from PFI, from the Boosted Boys channel. If you guys are familiar with those guys, I'm sure you are. Super awesome guys. There's some of my friends that I got to spend a little bit of time with last year when I was out there on tour. And so I'll be linking up with those guys at some point during tour. So when that happens, I'll probably do some filming with them. And we're going to do some snowboarding and stuff like that. And I'm probably going to go and check out their new shop they got. And I'm really excited for that. So shout out to you guys, Brent, Kyle, all you guys, Emilio. So can't wait to see you guys in a few weeks probably. So yeah, anyways, we'll resume this video tomorrow when I start messing with the hatch again. And we'll just go from there. Alright guys, it's been a few days. It's been raining a lot lately, so I haven't really had a chance to mess with the car at all. It finally stopped raining. It's pretty nice outside, so I'm going to go out there now. I've been driving around to all the part stores all day pretty much so far since I've been up, and nobody has a magnet small enough to fit down through the valve guides, so unfortunately that means the heads are going to be coming off in the spring. Which, you know, it is what it is. As I said before, I was planning on pulling them anyways to do a full titanium valve train, but I was hoping to have the car up and running when I got back from tour so I could drive it around a little bit, but like I said, it is what it is, guys. Anyways, I'm going to take the Borescope out there now. I'm going to fish around a little bit, see what I can see inside there, because I'm curious to see if when these retainers are breaking, if it's doing any damage to the valves and or the pistons or anything like that. I don't think it is, but I'm curious, so I'm going to take it out there, peek around a little bit. Unfortunately, it does have to go back today, so I don't really have time to, you know, look around any longer for a super small magnet. But yeah, I'll go out there and we'll play around with it a little bit, and then basically I'm just going to park it for the winter now. I'll be leaving for tour 4 weeks from today, so I don't have a whole lot of time left anyway, so even if I had the car running, it's already getting super cold outside, so it's not like I'd be driving around a lot before then. So it is what it is. It's a bummer, but it's not like I'm missing out on anything really. So yeah, let's go out there and play around a little bit, and then I guess that'll be it, guys. Alright guys, well, I can't really see a whole lot in there, but I'm not seeing the valve. But I'm also only able to see the top half of the piston, so it could be laying down towards the bottom of it, but this thing doesn't really want to work with me very well. But that's the center of it. But I'm not seeing the valve in there, so I'm wondering if maybe it didn't drop all the way in, and it's just maybe like hanging off the bottom of the head, because I'm not seeing it laying in there. But like I said, it could also be at the bottom half of the piston somewhere, but interesting. Alright, well, I guess that's that. Alright guys, well, it's starting to get dark out now, so I'm going to go ahead and take the Borescope back over and return it to my buddy. As you guys could see, you couldn't really see the valve in the cylinder, but like I said, it could be down towards the bottom of the piston where you couldn't really see with the Borescope. But I'm also kind of curious to know if it's just hanging off like the bottom of the head, because if that's the case, I could try to maybe like really slowly turn the engine over by hand until that cylinder's at top dead center, and see if I can use the piston to kind of push it back up through. But that's also pretty dangerous, because then you run the risk of bending the valve or hurting something. So I probably won't mess with that too much. I'll probably just end up parking it for the winter and pulling the heads off in the spring like I said before. So I guess that's going to be it for the hatch, guys. It kind of sucks, but it is what it is. But anyways, I'm planning on going over to Alex's at least a couple more times before I head on tour, so we'll get some videos thrown together from what's going on over at his place. We've both been working a lot lately. I've been working a lot of Saturdays and stuff like that, so I haven't had a whole lot of time to get over there. But it's going to happen here soon. So sorry for the wait on that, guys. We will give you guys some updates on what's going on with his car, but as far as I know, there hasn't been a whole lot of stuff going on with his hatch, so I'll get over there here soon and we'll make a video. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.